Immediacy, priority access, delivery, personalization that is tailored to you, as one person called a me-cast. Interpretation and filtering, make it authentic, make it accessible, package it, and add the community. These are all things that are worth real money. Just think about 10 years ago in the music business or the TV business or film, what was worth the money was the copy of the plastic or the copy of the song download. That's wrong. That's not the value. Anybody can provide a copy. There's no value in that, not on its own. The value is in those intangibles, everything around the content. In other words, if you have a TV show, do you have a place where people can come together, talk about the show, or swap opinions, or upload images, or do a remix? Those things are going to be the ones that we need. For example, in music, my hunch is that lots of bands and artists and labels will start selling concert recordings, but the regular songs will be more or less free, as part of the flat rate, of course. These are all developments that we're seeing everywhere already. In China, in India, and all of the BRIC countries they're called, we're not going to sell the copies. We can just sell the intangibles. And just to show you what I mean, I think the music business will grow from the measly 27 billion that it is now to over 100 billion, if we can do this, if we can turn that into money. And this is going to take a bit of time, of course, but it's definitely coming up. So here's a sort of a forecast of what I see happening in the future of content. We're going to see copy-based revenues decline. We're seeing this revenues decline of selling CDs and DVDs, and then we're going to see the attention-based revenues develop up. Attention-based revenues could be anything. Could be advertising, sponsorship, merchandising, concerts, appearances. All these things are what I call soft money. They're not actual money that trades hands as I buy a copy. This is good news because you can see that the combined amount is bigger in the future. This is true for all kinds of content, including books. But we have to develop this business model, which is something I want to talk about in the remainder of the time that I have here. So, now we're seeing essentially the users becoming the content. This sounds bizarre to people, but especially when you have a TV studio or a record company, the user isn't the content, the user is the buyer. Supposed to put up the money. Now in Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, guess what the user is? The user is the content, because there would be nothing without the user. The user rates, forwards, shares, adds keywords, builds things around the content. That creates very, very powerful content on its own. So you could say this is sort of the equation that we're looking at. This is new. Something to think about for broadcasting. And this kind of thing, you've seen this maybe, you like a YouTube video, you come to somebody's site and all of a sudden the video is gone. It's because companies like Viacom sent 100,000 takedown notices a day to YouTube. They stopped doing this because they figured they could never keep the stuff from showing up, but they can make money by running ads against the videos. So today, Viacom says, never mind the stuff that we haven't authorized. If you give us a piece of the money, we're happy with it running there. That sounds like something we could have done 10 years ago, but it's happening now. Now the New York Times says, we have 100 years of movie reviews, or not 100, I mean, it's whatever projection time, I think it was about 75 years. We have all these movie reviews now, we're going to put them online, and now we're moving from takedown to permission, from a no world to a yes world. This should be your mantra as a broadcaster. Move to a yes world. Yes, you can podcast. Yes, you can time shift the programs. Yes, you can listen to it in Indonesia on your vacation. All these things have to happen. We cannot afford to say no to a lot of these things anymore. And the right societies have to stop saying no to every possible new use of music or other things. We need the music to go out there and then share the revenues. Here's a short story. Google makes $730 million a month on these tiny boxes in the Google search engine called AdWords. Takes about $100,000 to serve the code.
if we can put music or even video or television into the search, so when you search whatever TV show, you can watch it right in Google, in return for getting 10% of the money from the ads, wouldn't that be a good deal? That's free money. Because now what people do is they search and then they go off to BitTorrent. That would be found money, people who own the rights. So I live in Switzerland. This is a shot of Switzerland. Everything's forbidden. This will not work in the future. It's pretty much whatever you're going to do is forbidden. You can't get a taxi, you can't ride a motorcycle. So now in content and media, in broadcasting, the world of no becomes a world of yes. We have to move to a world of yes. That's really how it works going forward. I'm going to actually jump around a bit because otherwise I don't get you to see the marvels of my imagination all the way through. So, here's my plea to you. Put yourself in the middle of it. Put yourself in the middle of blogging, photo sharing, video sharing, RSS and widgets. That all should be centered around what you do. That's not just a business, it's also public service. This is what people are doing now, and pretty soon, estimates have it that within 3 years there won't be a single person left that's on the internet that's not part of a social network.